Hello, good people of YouTube. A very jet-lagged Mountbatten here today. I have just returned from the faraway land of California after attending CarrierCon aboard the Hornet in Alameda. It was a great time, great event. Got to meet Sea Raptor, Ryan from New Jersey, and quite a few of you guys there as well. It was a fun time. I will be releasing a video later this week that covers my adventures into the very strange land of California and all the hijinks that we got up to there. But anyway, today, actually tomorrow, update 12.2 is going live. So today we're going to go over the patch notes and talk about what you need to know to get the most out of this update. Now, I want to mention something off the bat that I've been mentioning the past couple of update videos, but this one is pretty important because after this update goes live, you have exactly one more patch before the free XP ships are gone for free XP. That's the Groningen, the Hayate, the Azuma, and the Agir. Those 4 ships right now are all available for free XP. But when 12.4 goes live, they are no longer going to be available for free XP, and they will instead be put in the armory for coal. Why is this a big deal? Because free XP right now is pretty darn easy to get. It's not a very difficult thing to grind out, especially with some of the boosters that are available today. So if you want to get these ships for pretty much I wouldn't say an easier effort, but a simpler way rather than having to deal with having to, get your daily coal containers, do the coal missions and stuff. If you want to get them pretty easily, you have one more patch after 12.2 in order to do that. At the end of 12.3, when 12.4 goes live, those guys are going to be gone. You'll have to grind out the coal to get them. So if you want to get those ships, I'd highly recommend getting them pretty soon. Azuma and Agir, the 2 I would have prioritized. Groningen's pretty good as well. Hayate's just a gunboat shimakaze. Well, a more gunboaty shimakaze that's... you could probably pass on that one, and it wouldn't be a great loss in my opinion. But just wanted to get that out at the start of the video. So, let's go ahead and go through the rest of the update notes and talk about the main features of 12.2. So first off, the Trouble in the Hot Tub event, which will be the April Fool's Day event for this year. This was originally introduced way back in the day. I think before, yeah, definitely before I started playing. So what do they have to say about that? It's time to make a splash. Battles are going to be fought in a special hot tub to mark April Fool's Day. Choose your rubber ducky and compete for the title of the best hot tub fighter on an updated map with animated elements and transparent water. A total of 6 rubber duckies of different types are available: 2 destroyers, 2 cruisers, and 2 battleships. All players will immediately receive 1 duck of each type. You have Don de la Duque, which will be a DD, Luigi McQuacky, which will be a cruiser, and Quackaducko, which will be a battleship. Earn 20,000 base XP playing each starter ducky of the corresponding type to gain access to the remaining duckies. Duck Punches, which is a DD, Furo, which is a cruiser, and DUCK, which is a battleship. All rubber duckies have a new type of armament, splashy mines. Laying these mines is similar to dropping depth charges. However, the mines do not submerge underwater. The mines explode a little while after being laid or upon contact with duckies, and they can cause flooding. In addition to mines, rubber duckies utilize familiar weapons. They have them specially stylized for the event. Depending on the ship type, the armament can include high explosive or armor-piercing bubbles, as well as fizzy torpedoes. High explosive bubbles don't cause fires, but they do have a chance of causing flooding. That's interesting. Since the duckies are rubber, they don't take any ramming damage. If they collide with each other or with other objects on the map, they simply bounce off, gaining a speed boost. So what they're really testing here is the mines and maybe the transparent water. They might be trying to, upgrade the game's graphics a little bit more, perhaps. They always do this with these April Fool Days events. They are normally pretty fun events, and this looks like it will be too. I didn't get around to playing it on the test server, but I'll probably bounce in for a couple of battles with the April Fool's Day event. Again, these are always pretty fun, and a good way for them to test out the new mechanics. Mines, like I've said before, if mines are implemented properly, I think they'll be a pretty interesting new mechanic in the game. The idea of being able to basically deny the enemy a certain passage or route to get to a objective sounds like something that could be very useful in game and mix things up quite a bit. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I do know they've been implemented in War Thunder for quite some time at this point in their naval game mode. So 12.2 also brings us the full release of the hybrid battleships, which means my Louisiana review, my state's battleship, which has unfortunately been turned into this abomination, will probably be out a day or two after the patch goes live. So yeah, I have to play that thing. And I've heard it's quite good, quite cracked, if you will, but we'll see how that's going to go. So the Battle Pass is being updated. They say, following tradition, Update 12.2 brings a new Battle Pass, earn Battle Pass points for completing daily and weekly combat missions, advance through the Battle Pass progress bar, move to new levels. The final reward, the free Battle Pass is Pan-American tokens and containers that hold rare economic bonuses. You can use these tokens to gain early access to Pan-American cruisers. The Premium Battle Pass offers even more valuable in-game items, and its final reward is the Tier 8 Pan-American cruiser, which is the Ignacio Allende, which is in early access. So they're doing the same thing they did last time, where they stuffed the Tier 8 in the Battle Pass and the Premium Battle Pass for early access. I mean, as long as you're aware of spending money to, pay to grind out early access to a cruiser, yeah, I just think it's, they started out pretty strong with the Battle Pass, putting in like a Tier 7 Premium for the end result of the Premium Battle Pass, which is a pretty good deal, and now they're going this route with the early access event ships. If they would maybe rotate it out between a premium at the end of the Battle Pass and an early access ship, not even like a certain premium, so maybe like a Tier 7 premium container or something like that, I think that would be a better idea, because you are, paying for the premium pass. But you do get a lot of other stuff for the premium pass too, so it's not entirely terrible. It's, if you actually add it up, it is actually worth it. But I don't do it because I already pay for premium time, so I pay for premium on top of premium. Alright, so Pan American cruisers, like I just mentioned there with the Battle Pass section, they are coming to early access. So let's see how it will work this go round. So it's actually starting a week after 12.2. I'm assuming that's probably because the American battleship's coming out of early access, and we still have the British submarine early access event going on as well. And it sounds like it's going to be in the exact same format as usual with these early access events. They say that you can get the Almirante Barroso will be available in daily random bundles for doubloons immediately after the update goes live. That's the Tier 2. Okay. The Vincente Guerrero, the Cordoba, the La Argentina, and the Almirante Cochrane. I think I got through most of those okay. And the Coronel Balanci and San Martin will be available in sequential bundles for Pan-American tokens. Ignacio Allende is the final reward of the Premium Battle Pass. Just talked about that. Santander can be obtained via random bundles available for doubloons. That's the Tier 9. Number of tokens that can be obtained for free is sufficient to purchase the Tier 3 to 7 ships, as well as the Mayan Mystery Permanent Camos for the Ignacio Allende. If you purchase random bundles that hold additional tokens for free XP, you can obtain the Muisca Gold Permanent Camo for the Santander. I do actually like these camos. They look pretty neat, and compared to some of the other early access camos for other tech lines, they're pretty toned down, and I do like them. They don't have anything like really gaudy on them, like statues or figureheads or anything like that. So they say features the new ships. The new cruisers are only armed with AP shells with enhanced ricochet angles. Starting from Tier 6, they have access to combat instructions. Activating these increase their consumable cooldown speed. The ships have weak armor but good concealment. Starting from Tier 2, the ships have access to Repair Party. From Tier 6, they have access to Specialized Repair Teams, which restores a considerable portion of the damage received. And from Tier 8, they have access to the Surveillance Radar consumable. Medium and long range are optimal for engagement. However, the ships are armed with torpedoes with medium characteristics for forced encounters at close range. Thanks to the bonus provided by Combat Instructions, which is activated by continuously firing enemy ships, the cruisers can frequently use the Specialized Repair Teams, which restores a significant amount of hit points, including Citadel hit points. This allows the cruisers to play quite aggressively and trade their HP points profitably. So it sounds like they haven't changed too much from the last iteration where they mentioned these ships. And I have played the Tier 4, the Cordoba, in with the in random battles with the Amazon Prime gaming reward, whatever you want to call it. And it was a little rough, but granted, it is tier 4. Most cruisers at tier 4 do explode quite a lot. So, yeah, but I don't think I'm going to really try to get these to review unless you guys really want to see them. Because it is just another line of boosters from tier 8 on up, which is usually where the interesting stuff is at in most lines. But we shall see. So, some economic changes are also coming with this update. Now, we've got 2 changes that we've mentioned in the past that are coming to this update. The changes for spotting damage and also the balancing of rewards is coming with this update. They state the economic rewards for transferring intelligence data has been increased to match level rewards for dealing damage from the main armament types. Supporting allies is now fairly rewarded without forcing players to choose between personal effectiveness and helping their team. You can evaluate damage upon your spotting in the detailed post-battle statistics. This parameter was added to the statistics in Update 12.0. To balance these changes and keep average earnings at the same level, the rewards for dealing damage, detecting torpedoes, and earning the spotted and defended ribbons have been reduced. The credit reward for receiving potential damage has been reduced for battleships. The rewards for detecting ships and torpedoes are now the same for all ship types. The rewards for dealing damage with secondary battery guns have been increased to be similar to the rewards for dealing damage with primary armament types. This means that the average earnings of battleships with secondary armament-focused gameplay will increase to the level of their peers. So, again, like we talked about, they're increasing spotting damage to be the same as, dealing damage with your weapons, which, that's great for DDs and submarines and aircraft carriers and cruisers, because that's a lot of what those guys do. They spot, and there are certain situations where if they would fire, they would probably get annihilated by the enemy team, but they keep their guns dark and spot for cruisers and destroyers. And it's not fair to them that, they might spot 100, 150, 200,000 damage for their team, but they weren't able to do any damage themselves because they were spotting. That makes perfect sense that should be increased, and it will encourage team play. But then you turn around and you nerf the earnings of battleships. Now, they did say they did increase the rewards for doing damage with your secondary guns. That's going to help out secondary battleships quite a lot. But the other, 70% of battleships in this game that aren't secondary focused, they pretty much just got a big old nerf to their income. And then they also have this little blurb here at the end where they talk about how they are trying to normalize the income. They state the average XP and credit earnings for some ships and tiers have been slightly changed. The changes are aimed at minimizing differences in the average earnings of all ship types at the same tier. Previously, differences at higher tier could reach 10%, but now they have reduced to 2%. The most significant changes have been made to tier 5 to 7 battleships. They now receive 5% fewer credits. The profitability of tier 5 to 9 destroyers in credits and XP has been increased by 1 to 3%, depending on the tier. The profitability of super ships and super cruisers have been reduced. They now receive 8% less XP and 6% fewer credits. So, 5 to 7 battleships, that was the tier that was most profitable. And I'm sure it still will be, because tier 5 to tier 7 is still really profitable because the repair costs are quite low, but they're just, donking off another bit of credits because they want to standardize the amount of credits that everyone is getting. Because, well, the more you gotta pay, the more likely you are to... the more you gotta play, the more likely you are to pay for stuff in the game. So, yeah, we'll see how this works and if it does make a big impact on credit incomes. But, yep, we love economic changes here, don't we, boys? Alright, Ranked Battles is, of course, continuing in 12.2. 11th season of Ranked is coming. And Bronze and Silver are going to be 6v6 on tier 8 to 9 ships. Gold is 6v6 on tier 10 ships. They don't have the... Oh, okay, there's another article on their website if you want to check out the full details of this season of Ranked. So another big addition to this update is the Illinois. She's coming for 51,000 research points. This is the Iowa hull with the Des Moines guns. So that's going to be interesting. I am really interested to see how this ship does play. It's a very interesting mix of cruiser and battleship. And again, my review on this should be out sometime relatively soon, probably this week or this weekend. Alright, so Brawls is continuing. in a 2v2 format playing tier 9 ships, and you can't div up with 2 players, no more than 1 battleship, 2 cruisers, or 2 destroyers per team. Okay, I'm not sure you get more than 2 destroyers per team. Okay. So it's starting on March 27th, it's going through April 3rd. And that is the, I believe, yes, the big takeaways for this update. There is some more smaller additions and changes coming in this update. If you want to check it out for yourself, check out the link down below. You can get a free day of premium time if you want to just scroll through the article and find that link somewhere in this article. They do hide it randomly, usually like underneath an article, like halfway through the update notes. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about update 12.2 in the comments down below, if you're excited for the update or not. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. On our way to 45,000 subs. We're getting very close to that goal thanks to you guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday, wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.